Alrighty, so my name is Kate. I'm going to be going over campaigns with you guys today. So the first thing that we're going to do to get started is we are going to go to command. So if you're not familiar with how to access with command, which hopefully everybody is, but if not, and I just realized I posted that on the wrong thing. Just in case you're not familiar with that, I will drop the command link in the chat. It is agent.kw.com. Once you're on there, you'll go ahead and sign in using your username and password. Keep in mind, your username is not case sensitive, so capitals do not matter there. Your password, however, is case sensitive, so make sure your capitals are where they need to be, lowercases where they need to be. If you're having trouble logging in and you know your password is right, make sure there's no extra spaces before or after your password. That will also prevent you from signing in. But let's go ahead and sign in. Alrighty, so now that we are in command, mine may look a little bit different from yours. These are customizable home screens, so pay no attention if yours looks a little bit different than mine. That is absolutely okay. Before we want to jump into our designs and start creating our email campaign and getting our email list and things ready, the first thing that I like to start with is the marketing profile in command. So we're going to take a look at that first. To access your marketing profile, you're going to click your name in the top right corner. From there, don't get this confused with the My Profile. The My Profile is mostly an internal profile, so that information on that profile does not feed information over to your website, to your app, or to any of your marketing materials. So you do want to keep that up to date, but that is not going to populate on your other platforms. So for marketing profile, we actually want to go into the settings. And once we're in settings, we're going to go ahead and take a look at connect settings. And from there, we're going to take a look at the marketing profile. So again, marketing profile is going to feed over information to your website, to your app, as well as to a lot of the marketing within your designs, specifically on email campaigns though. So we're going to take a look at making sure that the things that are needed are filled in, starting with turning on this little green light here. If this is not turned on, it won't feed over that information to your other platforms. So you do want to make sure that's toggled on in green and that it is not showing turned off like this. Once that's turned on, you want to make sure that your profile or your photo is attached. Super important for this specific photo to be the exact 360 by 360 size. The reason for that being is if it is not the correct size, it can appear distorted or stretched out, or your head is cut off on various different platforms and marketing. So super important to resize that. If you need any help with that, feel free to email us. We can certainly resize that or provide you with information how to do that yourself if you want. Next is the team logo. Now, team logo is not just going to apply if you are on a team. You will want a team logo no matter if you are an individual agent or on a team. The reason for that being is that this logo right here does pull over to some of your marketing, whether you're on a team or not. So if you're not on a team, you can throw in a generic KW logo. We've seen agents throw in another headshot. If you've branded yourself as a solo agent, you can certainly put your logo there. Just make sure you have something here because again, it will pull over to the various platforms and marketing in certain cases. Next is your details. So you want to have your information listed. Your license number is super important for email campaigns. Some of the templates do pull that information from the profile, so you want to make sure it is there. Otherwise, you may be seeing an error when you're trying to use certain templates for email campaigns. Your title, slogan, things like that don't generally pull over, but we do definitely want to have those filled out. They do pull to websites and things, just not the marketing pieces we're going to take a look at today. Your bio, you do have to have, so put something there. Usually you'll have this generic one if you haven't created your own. Phone numbers have to be included, emails, your website, super important to have as well. The reason for that being is that certain templates, again, for email campaigns will pull over that website, and you may see an error if it's not there. Keep in mind, you do want to pull the entire URL. And please don't add a www for your KW websites. It will cause an error. There is no www needed for the KW sites. Moving along is your market center information, so your logo and other brokerage information. We'll take a look at where to find these in case you're not sure. We'll take a look at that in just a minute. This logo, however, does not have to be the 360 by 360. For whatever reason, that one will not appear distorted or stretched when it's actually on your marketing and website. Next, you have compliance, legal footers, legal footer images. If you are in a state that requires that information, you do want to make sure it's here. If you're not sure, check with your compliance coordinator or your broker in charge. They'll be able to get you that information. Next, we have your social media links. So these can be included. Again, it's the full URL. You can generally pull those directly from the website and plug them in. And then if you have a Google Analytics ID. Once you have everything there, obviously you want to hit save. If you don't hit save, that won't be applied to any of your marketing or your website and things. So real fast before we jump into the designs piece, I do want to show you guys real quick how to find those logos in case you're not sure. For that, you can head over to kwconnect.com. Now, keep in mind, kwconnect.com is different from Connect within your command platform. So you will see Connect up here. They are two different things. They may eventually merge and be one, but right now they are separate. In order to access your Market Center specific logos, you can come to Resources once you're signed in, of course. Go to Marketing. And then your first one is Logos and Branding. So you want to pull that one. And from there, you can scroll down. This is where if you need a generic KW logo, you can come here and find one. And then if we scroll back up before those, we can go ahead and find our Market Center specific logos by checking here. So I'm just going to type in a random number, Market Center 439 mainline. We can preview that, make sure it's the correct logo. Once we hit download though, it's going to download an entire folder to the computer. And it's doing it on my other screen, which is fine. Give me 1 second and I will show you what that folder looks like once it's downloaded. All right, so once we've downloaded that folder, we get a folder like this. So it's going to say mainline. It's going to have a few folders in that folder. If you click on those, you'll notice that you'll have various different colors that you can pull into your marketing and use if you want. Some will have white backgrounds, some will be transparent. So just depending what you're using it for, you can come here and find those. Certain logos obviously won't appear very clean or clear on certain backgrounds. So you may want to use an all white or a white and red. So it's just for the different pieces of marketing you create. All right. We're going to close these out and move back over to Command. So I don't see any questions in the chat, so we'll just keep going. First and foremost, we're going to start with our design. So we like to create that separately and not within the actual email campaign. The reason for that being, it's just a little easier to reduce errors that you might see. So we always start here. Now yours may look different again once you're in your designs. These are the designs that you've already created and that you've made your own. So they will appear here. If you don't have any, that's perfectly fine. We're going to hit create a design. And for today's class, we're going to focus on email. The reason for that, it has specific templates that are built for emails. If you're interested in any of the others, you can certainly take a look at those on one of our other classes or videos that we have on our YouTube. So we're going to hit email and next. you'll notice that we see all of the various templates that are offered by KWRI. So you can keep unloading this or keep loading more until you get all of them. There's a total of 73 different templates for you to choose from. You can certainly pick these and customize these as you would like based on what you're looking to do for your email campaign, or you can create one entirely from scratch. So for today's class, we're actually going to take a look at creating one from scratch. And then if we have time at the end, we'll take a look at the templates. So we're going to hit create a new template. And from there, I'm going to name it. We're going to just name it newsletter. And I'm going to say for February 2024. From there, we have a few different things up here. So we have the various different devices that you can view these emails on. So you have computer, tablet, mobile. That's going to allow you to view how they would see it on those various devices. Then over here, you have view components, preview of the email. We have undo and redo. Now, again, we're going to build this from scratch. So the first thing we're going to take a look at is the header and the footer. So I always like to start with that because I like to have them on every email. Totally preference on how you do that. You'll see that I am just clicking that and dragging it and dropping it. Now it's only putting one on there, but you'll notice it has that green line of where it's going to drag that. So that's going to show you where to drop it, so you know it's going where you want it. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab this legal footer as well, put that below. Now, some people will try to edit these right here. You cannot edit these, okay? This is the information that pulls from that marketing profile that we took a look at in the beginning. So to make sure that these are working and that everything is plugged in, you can hit that little preview button and it will show you that it's pulling that information from your profile. So if something is missing, it is going to appear like this. So for example, that team logo, if you didn't have one in your profile, that email is going to look like that broken image when it goes out, instead of having that logo or photo there for you. Now that we have those, we can go ahead and grab our next item. So we're going to just kind of go through these. The first one we're going to pull over is text. Now, once we pulled that over, you can hit the button and you can hit the little pencil to edit that. And we'll just type over here. We're going to put can't type today, or in front of people at any given time. When I'm on my own, though, I type just fine. We are going to center that. You can also make it bold, italic, underlined, however you want this to appear for your email that you're creating, whatever you're creating that for. We can also change the color of the text. So since I'm doing February, we're going to go ahead and just make it like this pink color, I guess. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. And obviously I can make it as big as I want for this email. It's totally up to you since it is your email. But remember to focus on whatever you're trying to accomplish from that email. So if it's just a newsletter, or if you're trying to highlight an open house or something like that, make sure you're focused on the task at hand. But once I have that, I also have these other ones that I can use. I can insert a link. And then you'll notice up top, I have a merge field. So if I wanted to say, hello, and then I want to put their name. So I'm going to actually stop that from being underlined and make it a little bit smaller. Maybe too small. Let's go in between. Let's say I want to include their name. So whoever I'm sending it to, you'll notice these merge fields, you have agent information. If you scroll down, you have market center information. You have KWLS information. You have contact information, and then you have a couple more for market center and agent. We're going to go ahead and put contact first name. Now, it's very important when you want to use these that you don't try to type this out and you actually use the merge field up here, because otherwise it may not work when you send it over. I'm just going to put that for whatever reason. I didn't apply my text over here, so I'm going to do it this way just to. So now that I have that, in order to save that and apply it to my email, I need to hit done. If I don't hit done, it's not going to apply it to my email. Now that I've hit done, you can see that it adjusts on the left-hand side. I can see it. If we want to make sure that that name works, we can check that out right here with the preview option. Now, this has to be done from within Designs. If you're already in your email campaign and trying to view that, it's not going to work. So if we hit preview here, you'll see it says contact first name, but up in the right-hand corner, I can search contacts. So if I want to just pick the first person on my list, you'll see that when that email sends, it's going to pull their contact information. One thing I like to point out here, if you're sending a test email to yourself, and you're just typing in your email, right here, this is not associated with a contact. So when it comes over to you as a test email, it is not going to pull your contact information. It is strictly just an email. So if you're sending a test and you're saying, hey, this isn't working, that's going to be why. So just keep that in mind when you're doing these. The best way to make sure it's working is that preview option and searching your contact on the side. Real quick, before we keep moving, I'm just going to check out the questions in the chat. Are these individual? These are going to be mostly for bulk. Generally, if you're sending an individual email, you don't necessarily need to use this, but you can if you want it to be a pretty email and include, you know, all of this. But generally, they're best for when you're sending in bulk. How can you adjust the spacing between the text? Brian, if you're referring to the footer and header, there's no way to adjust those, but if you're talking about up here, there's no way to adjust the spacing right here. I don't think any of these allow us to adjust spacing. Yeah, that's just indenting. I forget what those are. I don't think it allows us to adjust the spacing here. However, that's going to generally be based on the size of your text. You can obviously create extra space by hitting the space bar or enter bar, but there's no actual way to adjust that spacing over there. That may be coming in the future, though. They're always trying to improve command. So moving along, we're going to next add an image. So I'm going to go ahead and just drag and drop that over. Now, again, that green line is telling me where it's going. When I hit that, it's going to show me images that I've already included into a previous email. So it's not going to pull from my design space or anything like that. It's strictly pulling things that I've already uploaded in the past. Excuse me. I can, however, pull listing information straight from here, or I can add images. I think I had a Valentine's Day one. Give me 1 second. See if I can find that. If not, I'll just grab one real quick. Let's just grab this one. So I'm just saving an image to my computer on my other screen real fast so I can show you how to upload that. So now if I want to upload an image from my computer, I can hit browse, and then it's going to allow me to upload a photo on my other. Let's see if I can pull this over. That didn't work. I don't think I liked that photo. Yeah, let me try one more. Sorry guys, just gonna grab a photo for you guys, but I didn't like the one I picked. So the reason I'm showing you this is because also, if you're trying to put a photo that you created in your design space, so we'll just pull that up actually, it'll be easier for me to show you guys that as well. Let's say I created a social piece in Command that I want to use. It's just a social graphic that I want to pull into that. I'm just going to grab a Valentine's Day one so I don't have to create one. So we're going to come to holiday and February. And I'm just going to grab a social square. And we're just going to grab this one here. I'm going to hit use. And then I'm not going to edit it except for delete this DBA name because I'm not going to add my logo right now. And I'm just going to download this so that I can show you guys how you would upload a social image into your email design. So once it's downloading down here, I should then be able to pull that from my computer. There's the other one now. Weird that it didn't work before. Oh, I downloaded it as PDF. Wow, guys, we're really having a rough start today. I need it as a JPEG when I download. So you can't pull the PDF in, it has to be a JPEG for the emails. So that's the reason it wasn't showing up for me. Now it is. So I downloaded that and uploaded that. Now, if I wanted to put both of these in, I could go ahead, but I would have to do them one by one. So I'm actually just going to use this one. It will then allow me to add that image into my design. And then I can hit preview, just check that out. If I need an extra space there because I don't like how close that is, I can certainly add that by just adding a space after. And it should bump that down a little. Now I can resize this a couple of ways. I can drag the corners in, I can drag it out. I can also hit the edit button, and here I can resize it with the width and the height. I can also make that a clickable link. So if I want that photo, if they click on that for it to take them to my website or anything else, I can link that right here and then include that. So I'm just going to grab the YouTube channel to show you how that looks and drop that in. Now, if I had done, if they were to click that when the email goes over, it's going to redirect them to that website. Let's just take a look at the text. How do you adjust the font size called insert in the, for the merge field? I don't know if it will let you actually adjust that because it's pulling that information. So I don't think you can. Oh, it is. Yeah. So if you highlight it, it should allow you to make it the same as the others. So I highlight all of this. I don't use merge fields a ton when I send emails, so but it should allow me to change that font and everything the same as the rest. Okay. I'm going to keep moving, and we can always come back to questions. After the image, though, we're going to select a button. Now, button, let's say that I'm having a Valentine's event for clients, and I want them to be able to click here and register. I could change that to say register here. I could then insert that link again. And then I can also change the color of my box, my button. I can change if it has rounded corners or not. I can change the size of it, the position, etc. I can change all of that. And then hit done, and it's going to adjust that. So just a cute little button that you can add that's clickable. Moving along, so that one's pretty simple. We're going to move to a listing block. So I can then put in my listing. So whatever my purpose of my email, if I'm going to share a newsletter and then add all of my listings, I can certainly do that. When you drag in the listing block, you can hit edit. And from there, it's going to allow you to select your specific listing. The easiest way to find your listing would be to search my listings if they're linked, or by using the MLS number. That's going to be the fastest way because this does pull from every MLS. So really making that easy on yourself by eliminating all of the various addresses is certainly easier. I'm just going to type in address because I don't have a listing to pull up. Excuse me, I'm just going to get a drink here. We're just going to grab this one. I know it's not a house, but we're just going to pull that. It will then pull the information. I do have to select a photo that I want to use, but it's going to pull all of the other listing information directly from the MLS, as well as this information should populate, but if it doesn't, you may need to plug that in. Once I'm done and I hit that, I'm just going to make this stuff up because obviously there is no bedrooms. It will then plug that in and make it a cute little listing block with all of the information. And you can edit that again. You can change the listing address, all of that good stuff. You can also link it again if you have a standalone landing page, or you want to redirect it to like an open house sign-in sheet for that specific property. You can certainly do that by adding that link again. And then when they click on that, it will redirect. And you can add as many of those if you want. Say you have 4 or 5 listings you want to include, you can certainly add all of those. Next is event block. So again, if you're throwing a client event or you have something in the community that's coming up that you want to share, you can certainly add that here. So I'm going to hit replace image to grab that. I'm just going to grab this other one. I can include the text. I can again link that. I'm just throwing in the same one. Change the size, the border radius, the position. Again, once I have everything the way I want it over here, I have to hit done. And it will go ahead and add those. I'm not sure why I added that photo at the bottom though. That was weird. And I just messed it up by dragging it. These are drag and drop. So if you start dragging them again, they will also adjust. So you do want to be mindful of that when you're playing around with it. Then you can edit your information. So I'm just going to put, excuse me, I don't know what is going on with my voice today. I'm just going to put the 10th, 2024, 5 p.m. Put the event title, sip and paint. I can add some additional text. And then if I have maybe an Eventbrite link set up or somewhere else that they can register for that event, I can include that. It's the same as the button that we looked at before, where you can include that link to send them over to that. Our next one is a video. We'll drag that one over. Now for the video, it does have to be a public video. So you can't like record one on your phone and just upload it. It would have to have a URL. So the best way is to just create yourself a YouTube page and put those on there so you can grab that link. So I'm just going to grab this one right here. I don't want it to play. And we're going to plug that one in right here. Now I can also add a thumbnail. So if I want to put a photo that's going to show up, I feel like I used to have one. We'll just put this one. I could put a little thumbnail of the video there, and that will play from the email. And you can see the little play button right here. It won't let me click on that in this email, but it will work when we send it over. And then the last is the Market Snap. So this is where you can send over Market Snap with the neighborhood trends. Now you can change that if you want to say a specific area. I'm going to pull the address from our website. We're going to use this one here. I don't need the whole thing. We're just going to grab the zip code. We're going to post that in, and then I can select the specific neighborhood that I would like to include. I'm just going to pick one and see if we like the information. I'm going to change this to say downtown South now that I picked one. Oops. And hit done. Now, when I do that, you'll see that it is plugging in that information for me. You cannot edit that information. I believe this information pulls from Nextdoor. So there's no way to edit it. If you don't like what you're seeing, the best thing to do is pick another neighborhood and send that over, unfortunately. But it allows you to send that little snap of the neighborhood. Now, once we're done, we've plugged in everything we want. We can take a look at our email. Now, obviously, this one is just a bunch of random stuff. There's no real purpose, so I wouldn't want to send this, but this is what those will look like. And again, check that name up here, make sure it's working, and everything is good. Now, again, you can't click on the video or the links or anything in the preview. We could send a test over to make sure that works, and I may do that. Also, I do want to mention there is an unsubscribe button on every email that goes through Campaign. You will not see it on the test email either, but when it's sent out, you will see it. So I can show you what that looks like on the other end as well. Let's go ahead and hit X. I'm going to go ahead and send that test email over to myself so I can take a look and show you guys what that looks like. And then we're going to go ahead and hit save. Now that our email is done, once we hit save, we still have to hit the X. It is going to ask you to save changes again. And we have our email template ready to go. Now, give me 1 second. I'm going to take a look to see if that came over, so I can show you what that looks like. All right. So our test email went out. This is our test. Again, it's not going to plug that in because I'm not putting in contact information. It's just an email. But I can then see that these links work when I click on them. All of them should take me to the YouTube channel. This one, same thing. I put a link there. I can also come down here and make sure my video works. It's going to open in YouTube and start playing. So everything works. Everything's good to go. And that is what it's going to look like when it gets sent out. Now, I do want to show you really quick, if I can find one in my email, what that test looks like, or what that email looks like when it actually goes out. I think I have one with the unsubscribe so you can see it. Yes, okay. So when the email is actually sent through email campaigns, you will see this at the bottom. So you can't see it again when it's sent as a test, but that will be on every email. So you can actually, it looks like it's a test, but I actually sent it to myself. So it is not a test on this one. You'll also notice that the emails come from agent blah, blah, blah at mailer.kw.com. That cannot be changed. The emails do come from that when they're coming through campaign. However, if someone were to reply to that, it's going to go to whatever your command email is. In command. So I'm just going to get rid of that and we're going to move on to the next thing. Just going to take a look at the questions real quick in the chat. If I skip over one, don't worry, we'll come back to it at the end. So it won't pull the thumbnail from your actual YouTube video. Generally, when you're uploading to YouTube, you'll set your own thumbnail. So you should usually have one, or you can create one that's separate. But it won't pull, like when you're looking at ours, we've created those thumbnails that are on there. They're not pulling from the actual video. Okay. Moving along, before we jump into actually sending our email through campaigns, I want to take a quick look at the templates, just to show you guys those, and then we'll take a look at actually sending one. So I may look at a couple here. First thing, I'm just going to click this Valentine's Day one since that's right around the corner. And we're going to take a look. So you'll notice that some of the content pieces that are in here are a little different and you can't select them. For example, this header, this one that's right here, you can't add this one from the right. So if you like this and you don't like the rest of the email, feel free to come in and fully customize this email. You can delete all of these pieces and make this 100% your own. It doesn't have to look like this at all. Again, I can switch that photo out, grab one of the ones I already have, add the links, all of that stuff. I'm not going to add a lot of this. This is that other part of a footer that you can find in the templates that you may get an error on if you don't have your license information, your website, things like that. It won't let you save these if those aren't pulling from the marketing profile, so you may get an error with that. Again, another one that you can't pull from over here, so if you like it, definitely use one of those templates and edit it to make it your own. We'll take a quick preview at this one. So again, it just looks like that when it's plugged in. And then it has that, your app link, that needs to be in your profile and things like that. Well, I actually don't think the app does. That pulls from your consumer. But the website, it will say website, but it is a clickable link. And if your website is linked in your marketing profile, it will redirect them when they click on that. Some people ask about this, so I'll just mention it. You can't change the addresses. It's pulling from the marketing profile and there's only one address space. So maybe they'll change this in the future, but it is going to put the address twice. So just keep that in mind as well. Same thing here, we can always check that contact. It's going to change that for us there. And then again, we can also preview this on the different devices. They do sometimes look a little funky on mobile. So just keep that in mind when you're taking a look at this. But that is the template. So there are a few different ones. Well, there's actually quite a few. So find the one that looks like what you want to create. There's a bunch for listings that have, multiple photos, things like that you can edit and use. So some of those are nice to pull up. Like this one, for example, has multiple photos for a just listed. So a great little email you can send out to your database. Moving along. Now we're going to go ahead and jump into the actual campaign and create that. So we're going to hit the campaigns button right here. If you hover over it, if you're not sure which one, but it looks like a megaphone. And we're going to head over to emails. Now, before we get started, I like to create my email list first. The reason for that being sometimes if you're creating it in the actual email campaign, again, you can occasionally get an error. So we just like to do it first. So email list, and you can create as many as you want. You can also create MailChimp email lists if you're using MailChimp. So keep that in mind. You have the two options. I generally stick with command email. And I'm just going to do cartoons, and we're going to find our tag. And if I had more than what is showing, I would hit load more. Once I load everyone, I can go ahead and hit select all. I do need to name my list. So I'm going to say cartoons to 8 because I use this all the time. And we're going to upload Fred and Pooh and all them to our email list. Again, you can search by name, tags. You can select everyone in your email or everyone in command. They do have to have an email in order for you to add them to a list. So it won't allow you to send them if they don't have the email. One thing to note, if you've created an email list based on a tag, so for example, I did cartoons. If I add new people to my contacts with that tag, it's not going to automatically update my email list. So I would need to then come in and edit that before I send it out again. So just keep that in mind when you're adding new contacts. If you have email lists for specific tags, it's not going to manually update them. You will need to do that yourself. Once I have my email list ready to go though, I can then head over to create my email. So if I come back to email, we'll take a quick look at this dashboard. So we have emails, how many have been mailed in the last 30 days, recipients, opens, clicks, and then we have how many emails I have left. Every KW agent associate gets 5,000 per month. You can upgrade that and use more if you do. And that will be done. If you hit upgrade, it will take you to settings. Nope, takes you to the marketplace now. They're always changing stuff. And it will allow you to upgrade that. We have search, so you could search for specific emails. You have mailed, scheduled, archived, draft, and all. If you have a specific goal that you're looking for on a past email, MailChimp or Command Mail, and then again, your email list. From there, we have the overview. So this is the title of the email campaign, whether that is, the status of that. So whether it is processing, mailed, draft, canceled. When you send those out, they do say processing usually for 24 hours, and then the data will start to pour in. When they're in processing mode, the emails should be sending out. We have seen a few hiccups with the emails lately, so hopefully that's resolved. And they should be working properly. Once the data starts to come in, the metrics, you'll start to see who has opened it, clicked it, etc. You have 3 dots over here where you can duplicate or archive the campaign. And if we take a look down here, you'll notice that I start getting those metrics for my emails. So there's a lot of them. If I were to click on one, this one says no recipient activity. This is kind of one of the things we were seeing recently. And there may have been like a bug. going on. So that we believe is resolved. But if we take a look at one of these really quickly, I can then see all of the other information. So I can see um, how many were actually sent, how many were delivered, opened, clicked in, how many unsubscribed from those emails, if they were actually not sent out, or if they were not opened. Not sent is for a few reasons, whether the domain is blocking that email from going through, um, or if they had already previously unsubscribed, they may show up there. So you can definitely take a look at those. If there are some that just didn't send, you can try to resend them from there. It will give you that option as well. Going back though, we're gonna go ahead and create one real quick. So we're gonna hit create. Now we have to select that we're doing an email campaign. I'm gonna do Feb, so 2024. Obviously title it whatever you want that you're gonna remember. And then we have our various goals. So again, when you're creating that email, you wanna keep your goal in mind. What are you trying to accomplish with that email? And select the appropriate one. I'm gonna select other, since I don't have an actual goal with the email that we created. And then you can choose whether you are doing through Command Mail or MailChimp. Now, we don't do a lot with MailChimp since they are technically a third party. We mostly stick with Command Mail, so we're going to go through that one. Now, once we're here, we have our campaign name, which we already named. We can change the goal if we want to, if we've decided that another one fits best. The account that is being mailed from, basically that's just your command mail. So when they reply, it will come back to that one. You can then pick your email list. So I'm going to go ahead and select my email list that we already created. Now you can create it here or edit it here. Again, it just leaves less room for error if we do that beforehand. Send from name, the reply to email. So this can be changed if you want to. The subject of the email. And then the content. So this is where you would pick your design. Now, every once in a while, I have someone email us and say, hey, when I select a design, my design's not coming up. The first thing I ask is it a social design or an email design? You cannot pull anything other than an email template in here. So it would need to be an email. So if you're not seeing it, most likely it's not an email template that you created. We're going to go ahead and click this one. I know it's not the one we created together, but we're just going to grab that one. Again, you can preview that. Maybe they updated this. It didn't used to be here. So that's good to know. Next, we can make any changes that we might need to. Generally, since I already created this, I should be good to go. I can, however, preview, download, or send that test email again just to make sure. And then if I go ahead and hit save, it will then add my email preview to the right-hand side so that I can take a look at it. From there, I could still update my design if I decide this is the wrong one. I can also still preview and send that test. And then from there, I can save draft, schedule that to go out at a specific date and time. And it will start processing at that time. So it will start sending those out. It says schedule email campaigns 2 hours from now to 12 hours. So I can schedule it to go out in 2 hours. Can't schedule it right now. If I wanted to do that, I need to go ahead and just hit send. So I'm not actually going to send this. I'm going to go ahead and hit, we'll go ahead and schedule it so you guys can see what that looks like. My schedule. Now that I've scheduled it, you'll see it is scheduled. So it will start going out on March 23rd at 2:44. And then it will change over to say processing. Now, again, once it's started, after 24 hours, generally it will start to update and say mailed, and it will start to bring in that those metrics for you to view. If I've changed my mind, I can certainly reschedule that or duplicate it. I'm going to go ahead and hit cancel. And that is our email campaign. So that is pretty much everything we want to cover today. If you have questions that didn't get covered, drop those in the chat. If you don't have any questions at all and you are good to go, feel free to jump off. I hope you got some good information from this class. I'm going to go ahead and stop recording and we'll just take a look at questions.